Hey guys, in this video I'm going to compare the Motorola Edge 60 Pro and the Vivo T4 Pro. I have been using both these devices for a while and today I will tell you which one is actually better in terms of battery life, camera, display, speaker, performance and overall experience. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So let's start. So first let's start with the display quality and see which one comes out on top. When it comes to multimedia consumption, if you are planning to watch a lot of videos or content in your phone, I would recommend going with Motorola Edge 60 Pro. It features a 1.5K display which makes everything look sharper and more detailed compared to Vivo T4 Pro, which comes with a full HD display. Now I'm not saying Vivo display is bad, it's still very good, but when you compare both side by side, the Motorola is clearly has an edge in sharpness and overall viewing experience. However, under direct sunlight, I feel the Vivo T4 Pro performs slightly better. It gets a bit brighter than the Motorola, making outdoor visibility a little easier. And talking about the display protection, Motorola again takes the lead. It comes with a Corning Gorilla Glass 7i, whereas Vivo T4 Pro uses Dragon Tail Glass. From my personal experience, I have been using the Motorola for quite some time without even applying a tempered glass. I have dropped it multiple times and the display is still completely intact. So overall in the display department, I would say the Motorola Edge 60 Pro is the clear winner. Now let's talk about the speaker quality. Both phones come with a dual stereo speakers, which is great to see, but in my experience the Motorola Edge 60 Pro sounds noticeably better. It has a richer sound with more depth, especially when you are watching videos or listening to music. I'm not saying it's a flagship level, but it's definitely impressive for this category. On the other hand, Vivo T4 Pro speakers are just average. They get the job done, but they lack the depth and fullness you get on the Motorola. So overall, when it comes to the speaker quality, the Motorola Edge 60 Pro takes the win again. Let's talk about performance. On paper, the Motorola Edge 60 Pro is clearly the winner. It comes with the MediaTek Dimensity 8350, which is significantly more powerful than the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 on the Vivo T4 Pro. Even in benchmark scores, the difference is quite noticeable. The Motorola scores over 1.8 million, while the Vivo is around 1 million mark, which is expected given the more powerful chipset on the Motorola. And Motorola also has an advantage when it comes to hardware. It uses faster UFS 4.0 storage, whereas the Vivo comes with UFS 2.0. And in terms of RAM, Motorola uses LPDDR5 while the Vivo still relies on LPDDR4. But it's not about specs. In real world usage, the difference is actually noticeable when you use both phones side by side. The Motorola feels smoother and more responsive. Even in RAM management, Motorola performs better. It can keep around 6 to 7 applications in memory without reloading, while the Vivo tends to reload apps after 4. This suggests that Vivo has more aggressive RAM management. So overall in performance department, the Motorola Edge 60 Pro wins once again. Now let's talk about the network quality. I haven't faced any network issues with either of these phones. There were no call drops and the 5G internet speeds are also fast. So overall I have no complaints in terms of connectivity. However, when it comes to call recording, Motorola allows recording but with an announcement, whereas Vivo lets you record calls without any announcement. So if you prefer recording calls secretly, Vivo would be the better choice. Now let's talk about software updates. If you want regular updates, I think Vivo should be your choice because it provides monthly security patch updates. On the other hand, Motorola usually pushes security updates every 2 to 3 months. So in this area, Vivo clearly wins. Well, now let's talk about the UI. Well, this completely depends on your preference. If you prefer a clean stock Android-like experience, Motorola wins here. But if you want a feature-packed UI with more customization options, Vivo takes the lead. So in the end, it all comes down to your personal choice. Now let's talk about the battery life. First, the specifications. Vivo comes with a 6500 mAh silicon carbon battery, whereas Motorola has a 6000 mAh silicon carbon battery. In my usage, both phones delivered really good battery life. However, if you want an extra 1 to 1.5 hours of screen on time, Vivo clearly has the advantage as it lasts about an hour longer than Motorola. Overall, both phones offer excellent battery performance, but in my experience, I get around 8 to 8.5 hours of screen on time in Motorola, while Vivo gives me close to 10 hours. Finally, let's talk about the camera quality. I actually have a clear answer here. But first, let me quickly go through the specifications so you can understand better. Vivo comes with a 50 megapixel main camera, a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. On the front, it has a 32 megapixel camera. And on the other hand, Motorola offers a 50 megapixel main camera and 50 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, and a 50 megapixel front camera. Now, after using both these phones, here is my personal experience. If you want a flagship level portrait shots, especially at 3x or 4x, Vivo is clearly the winner. It takes excellent portrait photos, so if you love shooting portraits, Vivo should be your pick. However, in other areas like the main camera, ultra wide camera, and the front camera, Motorola performs better overall. Even though Motorola has a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, it can take decent portraits. It's nowhere near Vivo's portrait quality. So, if portrait shots matter the most to you, go with Vivo. But if you want a more balanced and overall better camera experience, Motorola is the better choice. So that's pretty much it. I have covered all the key areas and shared my honest experience. If this video helped you, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more content like this.